30-day Leetcode challenge. Today is day 17 and the question is number of Iceland. We are given a 2D map of 1 and 0. 1 means land, 0 means water. We have to find out how many Iceland it has. So this is the example and it has 1 Iceland, this one has. Let's understand. So the Iceland is formed by this kind of pattern, all ones that are connected vertically or horizontally. Diagonal is not accepted. So this one become 1 Iceland. In another example, let's say we have to solve this using depth first search. This is another example. This one has first Iceland is formed by these 4 numbers and this one is not connected to any other one vertically or horizontally, and this is the third Iceland. And we can solve this using DFS, depth first search. So we start with the first one and we look for all 4 possible directions. And if we found one, then we go there. We again check for all 4 positions, left, right, up and down. If we found one, we go there. And we keep doing this for every time we found one. And we turn everyone into 0. So we avoid repetition. So here is like we found our first one 0. And we go to next one and turn into 0 and look for ones in all directions. We found our third one, so we turn into 0 and we check for direction. We found 1. We go there, make it 0 and we check for ones. We found 1 and this side is 0. So the last one is this, so we turn into 0 and we look for possible one in 4 direction. We found nothing, so we go back to our last possible one. So this one was the last one, so we turn into 0 and we look for possible one in all 4 sides, and we go here and we check for possible ones. So it is 1 down there, right? So we turn into 0 and we check for 1. Both ones are become 0. Let's see this one, 0 now, and for this one becomes 0 and we look for possible one. We found nothing, so this is our Iceland. Everything else is 0. So this purple graph is showing our entire Iceland. Now let's check another example. Here we start with the left corner. If it is 1, we turn into 0 and we look for possible one. So we found 1 down, and in the right side we go to right side, we turn 1 into 0 and we look for ones in downside and right side. We found in downside, so we turn 1 into 0 and look for possible one in the left, right, up and down. We found one in the left side, so we turn into 0 and we look for 1. So everything is 0 around that. So that's it. That is our first Iceland. So we got 1 Iceland and we look for second I equal to 2. Everything is 0, so we do nothing. And then 0, we do nothing. 0, nothing. These all are 0, so we do nothing. We turn this into 0 to avoid repetition. 0, 0. This is also 0. This is 0. Now we found 1 and we look for possible one in the 4 direction, right, down, left and up. Everything is 0, so this is single Iceland. So we got 1 more Iceland and we turn into 0 to avoid repetition. And we check, like we have 1 plus 1. We got total, like we have a variable and we increment every time we found Iceland. This 2 are 0, 0. Now we found 1 here. So we found 1. We check for possible one in the all 4 directions. So it has only 3 directions, right, left and up. We found 1 in the right side. So we turn into 0 and we look for ones. We found no one. So this one, these two become a single island. We increment our integer by 1. So in total, we got 3 island here. So this is the solution, depth first search. So let's code it in C++. Let's say we have integer island equal to 0 starting. We use 2 for loops to grow through entire map. So I equal to 0 and j equal to 0. We check if our matrix ij element is equal to 1. Then we increment our island and we have a function called dfs, depth first search. So we gotta define it. For dfs, it has 3 arguments. First is our grid, second is integer I and j. First of all, we turn into 0 as I explained, and then we check for 4 possible directions. So we check if I minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0, then we check left side is it equal to 1, then we call our function, and we check for downside, like if down is greater than or equal to 0, then we go and call our function if it is 1. In same condition, we check for the max possible condition on the right side, that is I plus 1, and same thing we do in the left side, downside j plus 1. So this is how we call all 4 direction, and if we found one, we call our function, and this is keep going on until we don't find any one, and in the end we return Iceland. So it works. Let's submit it. Accepted. Check some details. We got 12 millisecond and we have 91%.